Hey guys, well check out this beautiful day. The sky is clear, the air is crisp. Well, the birds ain't singing, but it's just one of those days that just makes you want to take a deep breath and just go, ah. Well, it's glad to be alive days. And then we got this. Let's go take a look and see what's going on today with this. You've seen in the other video I got this thing up and going and seemed to run pretty good and drive okay, so I went ahead and sprung for a new battery for it. And I'm happy to report this is the cheapest battery there is at the place I bought this, which is the very common, you know, big box retailer. I kind of see there, but so that was good. I think this battery is $49 plus the core charge. Normally I keep some core batteries around, but I didn't have one this time, so I had to ante up the extra $9 for that. But that's okay. So I'm going to get that put in, and before I do that, I'm going to have to work on these cables a little bit. Somebody has messed around with this and put one of this kind of terminal on it. I actually borrowed their idea and did this on this one, but that's because I was using a battery out of that Plymouth over there, and it's a top post, and I didn't have any conversion terminals, and I wasn't about to go to town and get any, so I'll take all that off and clean those up and get the battery put in. And I'm going to move this around to the front. I've got the driveway cleared out now. I put the Dart Sport in the garage. I have to tell you sometime how I did that. That was fun. But I'm going to get this thing cranked up and moved around, and we'll see what's going on around there in the driveway. See you then. Alright, well, we're back. This time in the front yard, front driveway. And you remember me telling you several times there's no shifter in this car? There used to be, but there's not one now. Don't know where it went. And I was faced with the prospect of trying to hunt one of these things down, and I had planned this weekend to go to the junkyard over in Atlanta and go through there and see if I could find one. And then have to get a cable and all that. And I was looked on eBay, and there's a couple, but they're, you know, they're 9 prices on eBay, so that wasn't feasible. But as it turns out, my week this past week couldn't have gotten any better if I'd planned it. Check this out. Here is not only a G-body shifter, but the exact shifter that goes in this car, and the cable that goes with it. Very nice. And I'll tell you a short story of how I got this. I happened to be talking with my brother this week, about halfway through the week, and I told him I was going to have to go to the junkyard to look around for a shifter, and he said, well, I may have one. He said, because let me tell you this first, he had a Cutlass about the year of this one that he had for a few years and built up and everything, so that kind of stuff. So evidently he had some parts left off of it, and I didn't know he had this, and sure enough he did, and had the cable and everything, so it's just the exact shifter that goes in it. So I'm just more than grateful to be able to have that, get that from him. He just really gave me the hookup on this thing, so I don't know what I'll do to repay him in the future, but I'm sure I'll have an opportunity, and I'll sure do that. So I'm going to go ahead and throw that thing in and show you that, and let's take a look under here and just curious about how the shifters on these work. I'll show you that. Let's get out here and look. Here's the transmission and all that, and there's the cable coming through. It just comes through a hole you've seen probably up there on top. There's the hole in the floor, and it comes down, and it's got a clip right there, just a little spring clip. You just pull that out, and that's what retains it, that bracket that goes on the transmission there. You don't have to take that off. And then up there, that's your shift lever on the transmission, and that I've already pulled the clip out of it. It's just got a little, like a hairpin clip that holds the end of this onto this other side of the stud here. So you don't have to take that out either. You just take that little clip out and then just push that off and it comes out. In fact, we might can even work this out while I'm under here. And let's see, it's coming slowly, I think, maybe. Yeah, I think it is. I'll show you what's involved here. Well, it may not, but anyway, that's what you do. You just don't have my gloves on. If I had my gloves on, I could probably get that out, but it's held in there kind of tight. So just pull that out and the whole cable will come out. And then up here, on the top side of it, it's got another clip here that holds it to the shifter, and that's right here. You just put it in and it's got another one of these little wire clips, I call them hairpin clips, that holds it to the shifter. And you know, that's how it works. So evidently what went wrong with this one, I don't know why they would bother taking the shifter out of it, unless I just wanted to sell it because I knew the car was going back. But this cable in there, well, let's see. Creaky door. Oh yeah. If you look here, you see there it's broken loose from the housing. Housing that's broken, it's just, you know, there's no way to push it, and you don't really have enough leverage anyway. So, and this thing just bolts to the floor. This is the bracket back here that you have to put in if you're ever going to convert one of these from a column shift to a floor shift. You got to have this bracket. That's where the back of the shifter bolts on, and it's got 4 little holes there with threads in them. And then up here somewhere, probably gonna be under the carpet. You have to look around, but it's got a mounting spot on either side for the shifter itself, and I've got to look for that. I'm not exactly sure where that's at, because I'm pretty sure there's not a bracket here. So I'll show you once I get this thing put in. I'll show you what it looks like. Until then. Alright, here's something a little unusual. This is how this shifter mounts in, as I told you. It's got 2 bolts back here at the back go in this little bracket. And then up here, there's supposed to be somebody to mount this up here. But as you can see, there ain't no holes there at all. Not even a place, there's not any indentation on the floor pan that shows where they go. So that's weird. It's not a big deal really. I'm just gonna get it bolted in here at the back, and then I'll just mark that. I'll just drill through with my drill and just put a nut and a bolt on them. You know, that's all it takes anyway. But that sure is strange. And the other thing is, I've not even found the wiring that goes up to the little light that goes in there. I don't see that anywhere. It's probably, maybe it's under the carpet or whatever, but I mean, this car, it's coded for a console. It definitely had one in it. It's never been a column shift car. I mean, the instrument panel, no place for the, you know, it has the right kind of block off on it, and it's got the bracket under there for the front of the console, because on these, the ashtrays is just kind of like a little place up here. So that's weird. You know, this car, I think, if I just had to make a guess at it, this car is an LE, and for whatever reason, I think this was just the way it's optioned. It's not optioned like an LE at all. It's optioned more like a Brougham. So I think maybe when this thing was being built, maybe it was built as a Brougham, and then at the last minute, for some reason, something happened, and they just decided, well, let's just go ahead and put bucket seats and a console in it, and you know, put the LE badges on it. That's weird, isn't it? Because usually LEs don't look like this. They usually have that's supposed to be a sporty version. It's supposed to have the fade stripes down the side of it and the finned wheels. So I don't know, guys. It just got the bucket seats and console, I guess, like I said, stuck in at the last minute, and they decided to, oh well, we'll call it an LE. Maybe, you know, maybe a dealer wanted an LE. Hey, you know, that's an idea. That's an idea. Maybe this car got to the dealership and the dealer was supposed to be getting an LE, and they just kind of did a little swap-a-rooski at the last minute and said, well, we'll just get the bucket seats and put the console in it and the shifter. That's a far-fetched idea, but you just never know about this stuff. So anyway, back to it. Alright, well, the shifter's in and hooked up, but I ran into an interesting problem here. It shifts okay, you know, but the key won't turn back off even when it's in park. If I get under and push the transmission all the way up to park by hand, it turns off. But this has got like a rod redundant thing goes on at the column to, you know, keep you from starting it in a gear. So obviously something's going on with that. So let me check into it. Alright, that wasn't too big a deal. This thing's got a, like I said, it's got a rod comes up right here. And that just comes from the transmission, the shifter down on the transmission. And that's just, like I said, keep it from being able to be started in a gear. So what I had to do was, it just wasn't pushing up quite as far as it should have been. So under here, there's the lever coming off the transmission, and there's the pivot and all that right here. That bottom of that rod I just showed you, it's right there. And you just loosen that bolt up that you see, and around that one, and you can push that rod up forward further and then retighten it. So that worked out good. It's working good now. Alright, clean up my mess here a little bit. Next thing is I'll do an oil change.